Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Thank you for joining me for another Disney video. Today's video is something I've wanted to make for a while because it has been a while since I've been to Disney World myself, and I know for a lot of us, this is the case. With COVID last year, a lot of us had to cancel our trips. We haven't been down since. Some of us have been lucky enough to get to the parks, and man, am I jealous of you guys. But for the rest of us where it's been a while and maybe still will be a while before we can get down there, I wanted to make a list of Disney Plus shows I think are perfect for when you're really missing the parks and you want to have a little bit of that park magic at home. So Disney Plus has been putting out a lot of really great content around the theme parks in general, not just Disney World, and I'm all about that stuff. You guys know that I love, nonfiction, behind the scenes park stuff. We do a lot of that with the book club. We read a lot of books about, the creation of the parks and the behind the scenes of like how things were dreamt up. And the series that I'm going to talk about today on Disney Plus are no different. They're really, really great if you are missing the parks in some capacity. Some are a bit deeper than others are, but in all, I was just thinking about what would make the best playlist when you're just dying for some Disney theme park magic. Number one, the Imagineering Story. This is the obvious one, I think, or most obvious one. The Imagineering Story debuted early on when Disney Plus debuted, and I believe it's a mini series, so I don't believe they're doing another season. I haven't heard anything about another season. Each episode talks about the Imagineering behind different parks, and not just the ones in the US, but also ones abroad. So of course they start with Disneyland, they do go into Disney World and each of the 4 theme parks there. They also talk about Disneyland Paris, they talk about Shanghai, and they talk about, what they're looking to do as they move forward. The great thing about the Imagineering Story is there's lots of bits of footage of behind the scenes back in the day. So it's really cool to see some of these Imagineers talking through the rides back when they were actually working on them. And unfortunately, in some cases, this is posthumously, as we have lost some Imagineers in the past few years, given that a lot of them are getting much older. But it was really nice to be able to see some of the footage of them there. Everything from behind the scenes footage of Pirates of the Caribbean to, behind the scenes on things like Everest, and how they worked on different animatronics and the theming and the planning and the ideas. And it's just really, really fascinating. So if learning about how the parks came to fruition is for you, definitely check this series out. I think it is the first one you should dive into if you are missing the parks. The second one is a little bit more low-key, but really nice, and it is the Disney Parks Sunrise series. So this is a newer set of episodes. I wouldn't really call it like a show. They're just these ambient films of the sun rising across different theme parks and looking over different locales, like the Tree of Life, for example. They use a lot of ambient sound. They don't actually use any theme park music, but it's really beautifully shot. And it's just currently 3 little episodes, if you want to call it that, Sunrise at the Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and Epcot. Each episode is 60 minutes, and what's really unique about it is that most people can't see sunrise at the parks. So this is a unique perspective that you can't really see in person. I do know that like some cast members get to do like sunrise yoga. I have some friends that have done that, so they're very lucky that they have seen this in person. But in most cases, you're not going to see sunrise in the parks. So it's really, really beautiful, something different, and that you can just kind of put on in the background, but gives you that feeling of being in the parks at a time of day that you normally wouldn't. And honestly, I don't want to get up for, so I prefer this much more. The next series that I just finished actually is The Magic of Disney's Animal Kingdom, which is made in part with National Geographic. And you guys know I'm a big Animal Kingdom fan, so I dove right into this show. And they actually cover Animal Kingdom and the Living Seas at Epcot, which makes sense because there's a lot of animal care there as well. And so they'll flip back and forth on episodes, and each episode has like you know, its own animals that it's following. So if I recall the first episode, they're following this giraffe that they are trying to get to willingly put its foot up on a pedestal to have their hoof like shaved down. They've never really been able to do this before. Normally you would have to sedate a giraffe to do this, which, you know, is something that they're trying to avoid doing. So they go through that. There's also, you know, zebra babies that come into play, a stingray baby, love that. They take a look at some of the operations that they have to do when there are medical emergencies with animals, and they just kind of have this like bigger look at all of the care that goes into the animals at Animal Kingdom and the living seas. And I really appreciate that because I like to see what it is that they are doing and how they care for the animals in the park. It's also narrated by Josh Gad, so you know, you can't really go wrong there. The next series on the list is One Day at Disney, which is a series of shorts, coincides with a large documentary that was released and also a book that was released about the cast members and their stories of working at the parks. The narrator for this is Sterling K. Brown. I would argue he's best known for his role in This Is Us, but he's also been in Black Panther. He's also been in an excellent episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I gotta say. He was in Frozen 2, he's been in a lot of great stuff, and he has a great voice, so he is a great narrator for this. And it's really cool because it focuses on individual cast members and the roles that they play in the parks, you know, and it runs the gamut of the kind of roles that you can have at the parks. So they speak to a couple Imagineers, but they also speak to a train engineer, they speak to someone in marketing, they speak to a show technician, and you really kind of get these cool glimpses into the people that make the parks so magical. So if you're missing cast members and want to appreciate exactly what it is they do, this is a great way of doing that. And the last show actually comes out today as of when I am putting this out, and it is called Behind the Attractions, and I'm really excited for this one. Granted, I can't give you a review or a personal opinion on it because it just came out, but I can't wait to dive into it. It is exactly what it sounds like, a deeper dive into the Imagineering behind certain attractions. So whereas the Imagineering Story does touch on different attractions, it's really looking at parks as a whole. This is going to be individual episodes that focus on a specific ride. It is launching with 5 episodes, and then we'll have 5 additional episodes after that. The first 5 episodes that it's launching with is Jungle Cruise, Haunted Mansion, Star Tours, Tower of Terror, and Space Mountain. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is involved in this. He's a producer. It also looks like he speaks on some of the episodes, which is interesting. And so if you like him, then that might be a pull for you, but I don't think it really even matters as long as you like the rides and are interested in Disney Imagineering. I imagine this is going to be really good. And from what I understand, it is launching with those 5 episodes straight out the door. So there's 5 to watch right now. That is awesome, and I can't wait to dive into it myself. And so I think that's another great way to get a little bit of Disney magic. And then when you finally go to the parks after watching all of these shows, you're gonna have a deeper appreciation for the parks and the rides, because now you know a little bit more. You can be that annoying person who's throwing out all the facts with the people that you go with, unless they also watch the show, in which they're gonna tell you we already know. But I think it's gonna give a bigger appreciation for the parks whenever you do get to go again, because I know that a lot of us have been missing it, and hopefully are planning trips coming up soon. But this is a great way to kind of fill in that void in the meantime. Are there shows on Disney Plus that you like to watch to get you in the mood for Disney? Maybe it's watching like the Disney World special episode of Boy Meets World. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Are there shows that you want them to do about the parks that they haven't yet? I'd love to hear that in the comments below as well. If you like this video, then like it. If you like me, you should subscribe. Try to make videos when I can. Some of you know I have a little guy who takes up a lot of my time, so I really appreciate everyone who watches when I can get videos out. I appreciate it. If there's ever a video you want me to make, a question that you have that you want me to answer, you can also let me know in the comments below. I love making videos that are specifically asked for because that's really what I made this channel for. I didn't make this channel to, I don't know, really do anything else except for help you guys out. So when I can actually make a video that has been requested of me, that is my favorite kind of content to make. So please do not be afraid to ask or, you know, throw an idea out there because I'm totally down to make that video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great rest of the day. Bye.